The silence from Earth had lasted exactly 93 cycles. Supreme Arbiter Velkanos reviewed the data for the 100th time, his 4 eyes narrowing in satisfaction. The human homeworld's communications had ceased. Their defensive satellites drifted dormant. Their ship sat cold in orbital dockyards. The quarantine had worked perfectly. They learned their lesson, declared Council Member Thrace, his scales rippling with approval. Isolation is the perfect punishment for their insolence. It had started simply enough. Humanity had refused the Council's mining rights to their asteroid belt. A minor transgression, but precedent had to be maintained. The Galactic Council had isolated species before, cutting them off from FTL networks, blocking their communications, jamming their sensors. Most capitulated within 20 cycles, begging for reconnection. Humans had gone quiet instead. Should we lift the quarantine? Asked Junior Arbiter 9ella, her neural tendrils twitching with uncertainty. They've been silent for. Let them stew longer, Velkanos interrupted. Pride must be thoroughly broken. We'll re-establish contact in another 30 cycles. They'll be desperate enough to sign anything. But 20 cycles later, something changed. The Kryn border stations vanished first. All 17 of them, wiped out in coordinated strikes of brutal efficiency. No warnings. No demands. Just silence, then death. Pirates. Velkanos suggested, but his voice lacked conviction. Then the Vrelian supply convoys disappeared. 63 ships, lost across 12 sectors. Search parties found only debris fields and one message, repeating on all frequencies in perfect Vrelian script, you wanted silence. We learned. The council chamber erupted in chaos. Impossible. The reports came back 3 cycles later, and they were terrifying. Earth wasn't dead. It was hunting. During 93 cycles of enforced silence, humanity had done something the council never anticipated. They'd stopped talking and started working. The reconnaissance footage showed orbital construction on a scale that defied belief, not elegant galactic council stations, but massive, brutal shipyards churning out vessels that looked like they'd been designed by someone who'd declared war on aesthetics itself. They reverse-engineered our jamming technology, the intelligence officer reported, her voice shaking. Then improved it. Their ships are invisible to our sensors. They've been mapping our territories for 40 cycles. With what resources? Thrace demanded. They're one system. We're one system, the officer corrected. They've established hidden bases in 18 uninhabited systems. They used our own sensor blindness against us, traveled dark, no communications, pure stealth. We gave them 93 cycles of free movement while we assumed they were cowering. Velkanos felt his blood chill. Their fleet size? Unknown. Conservative estimates suggest 3,000 combat vessels. Maybe more. The chamber fell silent. The Council's entire defensive fleet numbered 4,000 ships, spread across 200 systems. They've been studying us, 9ella whispered, reviewing the tactical data. Every attack targeted support infrastructure, supplies, communications, isolated stations. They're not just retaliating. They're dismantling our logistics network. A new message arrived then, broadcast simultaneously to every council world. It wasn't a demand or a threat. Just a simple statement in flawless galactic standard. You taught us the value of silence. You taught us that isolation breeds focus. In ensuring you never make the mistake of silencing us again. Consider this your only warning. The transmission ended with coordinates, the locations of 247 council installations that humans had already infiltrated, already mapped, already targeted. Velkanos stared at the data, understanding flooding through him with horrifying clarity. They hadn't broken humanity's pride. They'd given Earth 93 cycles of uninterrupted time to transform from a petitioner species into an existential threat. Recall the fleet, he said quietly. Prepare a formal apology. And pray they accept it. Some prices, the council learned, were paid in blood and silence.